The EPA has discovered $2 billion stashed away by the Biden administration. The money was earmarked for a Stacey Abrams-linked climate group. Look who's here now, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. Sir, I didn't see any media coverage of this, and I can't explain that. But how can you get any of the money back?
This is something that is now being worked through between the Justice Department and Citibank. I have a lot of problems with this entire scheme, parking $20 billion of tax dollars at this outside financial institution. As it relates to this $2 billion, they were one of 8 primary recipients of this entire pot of $20 billion in Inflation Reduction Act climate change grants. Now, this organization linked to Stacey Abrams received only $100 total in 2023. It's a new NGO. But then they received $2 billion in 2024. Page 1 of the grant agreement with this NGO says that they have 21 days to distribute the entire $2 billion. And on page 7 of the grant agreement, it says that the NGO has 90 days to complete a training called How to Develop a Budget. If they don't know how to develop a budget and they need that simple training, they should be taking that training before spending $1, and they certainly shouldn't be given $2 billion and only 3 weeks to get it out.
But can you get the money back? I mean, if it was committed by the administration before Biden left office, it was committed to this group, can you get it back?
That's something that we're working through right now with the Justice Department. They're engaged with Citibank. Here's one of the problems is that deliberately, the way the Biden EPA drew this up, if I do a notice of exclusive control to the bank, it actually gives the NGOs more power, not less. They can respond by telling the bank, now I want you to send my $2 billion to this other external bank. So the financial agent agreements, the account control agreements, which, by the way, we're getting amended up to just days before Inauguration Day. It's something that we are working through because the Biden EPA put this in writing to make sure that not only are they tossing these gold bars off the Titanic, their words, not mine, but they're trying to make it very difficult to recover, but we're not going to rest.
Now, this is exasperating, so let's change the subject. You want to speed up the permitting process for companies investing in America. When we talk about a permitting process, I always think of oil companies who want to drill for oil and gas. How's it going, speeding up the process?
Oh, it's going great, and it's something that the president launched a national emergency, National Energy Dominance Council 2 Fridays ago at the White House. Working with Doug Burgum, the Secretary of Interior, Chris Wright, the Secretary of Energy, and other secretaries and departments, we need to work together to bring this timeline down. It's top of mind for President Trump. We speak about it multiple times a week. It was all over his call when he first asked me to take this position. We need to make sure that the processes are running concurrently between different agencies, that there is less red tape, that we are limiting the time where things just end up with uncertainty taking years and billions of dollars at times with no known end that you go through this entire process that you're going to get approval on the other end. So start to finish, we're looking at everything to be able to bring that timeline down, to reduce costs, and to make sure it's more consistent and predictable.
So can you reduce it from years to months?
Yes.
How about weeks?
Hey, you know, it depends which process we're talking about. But our goal right now is to be able to drastically reduce the amount of time it takes for permitting, to drastically reduce costs, and to massively increase predictability and consistency. There are so many different companies overseas that want to be able to invest in the United States. I heard this, my first call with Mark Wayne Mullen, the senator from Oklahoma, told me about one company overseas wanted to spend billions of dollars in Oklahoma. They wanted to build a 700,000 or so square foot manufacturing plant, but the problem was it would take years, it would cost an unknown amount of money, and they didn't even know if they were going to get a permit on the back end. So we need to address all of that. And for President Trump, he's not going to rest. I told him about one thing that we're going to cut from 90 days to 30 days, and he says, that's great, let's cut it down to 15. That was my conversation with him Sunday night. That's his mentality.